Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here today, hi, my name's Freddy and this is my YouTube channel. I post videos every Monday, mostly about fashion and style, sometimes beauty and travel, and I would love for you to join me because I'm really close to hitting 1 million subscribers, which literally gives me butterflies as I say it. I cannot really believe it. So if you are new here today, please do subscribe, tell a friend to subscribe, I would appreciate it so much, and of course turn notifications on for my channel so you are the first to know when I have posted a new video. Today I am bringing you more of my style tips. You guys really loved my how to always look polished and classy video. I'll link it down below in the info box or in the top right hand corner here if you haven't seen it already. And this isn't me telling you what to do at all, of course you can do what you want. This is just my tips on how to make the most out of your style and always look the best that you can be. And I don't really know why anyone would not want to do that, but if you don't, then that is absolutely fine. Nothing I post on my channel is fact or the law, it's purely my opinion. And to be honest, I'm a hypocrite because I spend all of my time telling you guys that you shouldn't care what people think of you, you should just do your own thing and do what makes you happy. So if that's what you want to do and ignore me totally, then I actually really respect you for that too. Oh my God, I feel like I'm going mad sometimes these days. I just feel like I have to disclaim everything, just in case, like even the air I breathe. Anyway, on a lighter note, today I'm going to be talking you through my 10 biggest fashion faux pas and how you can avoid them. A faux pas is pretty much like a little mistake or a little error or oversight that can maybe be a little bit embarrassing or just something that might make people go. And I think there are so many fashion related faux pas that happen that people maybe don't even realise are happening. And they could look absolutely great in their outfit, but they could be unwittingly committing one of these fashion crimes and it just ruins the whole image. So today I put together a list of 10 of my biggest fashion faux pas that are super easy to fix and avoid. And they are a matter of fact, not a matter of taste, because I did ask my dad when I was putting the list together, I was like, what do you think is like your biggest fashion faux pas for girls? And he was like, Uggs. And I was like, well, rude, because I love Uggs. So I'm not going to tell you not to wear Crocs if you want to wear Crocs. Maybe I should tell you not to wear Crocs. Anyway, let's go. So my number one biggest fashion faux pas is labels, and I'm talking all kinds of labels. Now I have been guilty of going out of the house with the labels still in, and I don't know how it happens because I'm so aware of it, but sometimes I just slip up. So make sure the tags are definitely off, and please don't be somebody that goes out and spends the day or the night in something and keeps the tag in and returns it, because just imagine how sad you would be if you bought something and you were really excited about it and you knew that somebody had already worn it. But I'm also talking about washing care labels, brand labels in the back of the garments. Sometimes, especially in cheaper clothing, the labels are visible through the fabric and it just is really not a good look. So I'd always recommend, if you can see them, snipping them off. Also the brand label in the back of your top or your dress, you know, isn't really the best look, so just snip them out. It may be worth also just in the notes on your phone or a notebook jotting down the washing instructions before you do get rid of the label entirely. Also labels on shoes. You have to take the labels off the bottom of your shoes. Let's say it again. You have to take the labels off the bottoms of your shoes. It just looks really bad. My boyfriend has pulled me up on it a time or two over the last few years and I've been so mortified because I'm like, how did I forget to do that? I just think it looks so like tacky and uncouth if you're walking and then you can see like the price tag on the bottoms of your shoes. It's like, why did you not take that off? And I know sometimes they're really difficult to get off. You try and peel it and it goes all funny, and I totally know how annoying that is because of the glue. Then you can get something really cheap called Goo Gone, and it's basically a liquid that kind of budges the adhesive. So you no longer have an excuse to have labels on the bottoms of your shoes. And finally, for this subject, and probably the most offensive one to me, is hanging labels in your armpits. Just cut them out. Do you ever use them? If you do use them, some tops or dresses, you know, if they're strapless, then you do need them to hang. But for the most part, I feel like we never actually use those hanging labels, and they're so easy to like, they just kind of sneakily escape out and hang there. And I just think it looks so bad and I just cringe. I know it's really mean, but I just kind of have a thing about it. So please just cut them out. If you are worried about your things slipping on hangers, I'd really recommend the velvet hangers from Primark. They are so cheap. They're really pretty. They come in all different colors. Some of them even have rose gold hooks, and that will just stop your clothes slipping, keep them nice and tidy so you don't need to use those horrible little pesky hanger loops. My second biggest fashion faux pas is having your underwear showing. I think there is nothing more scruffy or untidy looking, and again, so easily avoidable. So there are so many ways that you can have your underwear showing through. One is wearing bras or knickers that are darker or brighter than the garments you're actually wearing. So often I've even made the mistake of wearing white knickers or a white bra under a white top, but if the bra is more opaque than the top, then you will still see a white bra through a white top and it looks really, really bad. So personally, I think the best thing to do is just get yourself a ton of nude colored underwear because it goes with everything. You can wear it under any color outfit. You also, of course, have to be aware for VPL, which stands for visible panty line. So whilst you're already investing in those nude colored knickers, you may as well make sure also that they are no VPL knickers. So these are basically knickers that have no seam, no elastic, nothing that kind of digs into your skin or would press against fabric, something like completely flat. And then finally on underwear, something else that I find highly offensive is bra straps showing. I think it completely just destroys an outfit. Also, if you're wearing something with a low back or backless and you just see that big chunky bra spreading across the whole of your back. So of course the solution to this is a strapless bra. I wear mine pretty much every day. It's very boring. It's not the most comfortable of bras, but in general, get yourself a strapless bra, a stick-on bra if you are wearing something backless. If you feel like a stick-on bra isn't for you, because I know if you are like bigger in the chest, then that is going to be difficult, and I do understand that. M&S do these great bras that have a clear plastic strap at the back, so it is definitely a huge improvement than just having like a big black or big red or pink strap showing through your backless dress. But for the most part, can we all just agree that visible underwear, whether it's colour, outline, straps, is just a big, big no. Fashion faux pas number 3, another huge one and something I think happens to so many girls. It's absolutely tragic, and that is wearing shoes that you cannot walk in. Even I wouldn't wear really high stilettos because I just think they are so uncomfortable and they're so difficult to walk in. I've seen so many girls in London in the evenings on nights out literally like hobbling like Bambi because they cannot really walk in their shoes. So one thing I would say is the higher the heel does not equal the better or the more stylish the shoe at all. I think it's so much sexier if you can actually like walk and strut in the shoes you're wearing rather than just wearing the highest heels you could find because you thought it would look good. I think back in the day when we went physically out shopping more was better, because I remember being like 16 or 17 in New Look and trying on a pair of shoes, and like my mum would make me walk up and down like 3 times just to make sure I could walk. And I feel like now, because we order so much online, we kind of just unwrap them, pop them on to see if they fit, like have a little look in the mirror, and we don't really like walk around and actually test them out properly. So make sure that before you actually put your money into a pair of shoes that you can actually walk in them and not just like this. If you can't and you're still desperate, then please just practice walking in them. Wear them around the house, up and down the stairs, because remember, you don't always just go forwards and backwards. You may be going upstairs, getting in and out of cars, and it's just really important to practice because there is nothing that ruins a beautiful evening look than just not being able to do something as simple as walking. And more to the point, if you cannot walk, how are you going to dance? And what's the point in going out if you're not going to dance? I know some people do like to just stand there in a club with their drink like this. But I personally do like to dance and have fun. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this in evidence. But bad shoes that you can't walk in will definitely ruin your outfit. And most importantly, they will ruin your fun too. Fashion faux pas number 4 is fake designer anything. Now, I am not opposed to a slight dupe or a piece of high street clothing, bags, accessories, shoes that is inspired by a higher end designer, but I cannot abide flat out copies. I've spoken about this before, especially in my Shein video where I ordered a few like designer dupe bags and realized that they were complete and utter copies, but just horrible, you know, cheap and nasty versions of the real thing. And I just thought that is not something that I would ever wear because I think it looks terrible. Even when I really could not afford designer bags, I was never one to go to like the market on holiday or the beach or like some dodgy shop in London and pick up a copy, because most of the time they just look bad, and it's so easy to spot a fake designer bag, and sometimes I think it's just not worth it. Even if you get yourself a really good copy. I mean, I know there are places, I remember being in Turkey and these designer bags were fake, but they were still like 200 euros or something because they were really still nicely made, and they were, what do they call them? Genuine replicas, which is just a really posh word for fake. And I think if you have that much money to spend on a genuine replica, £200, £100, there are just so many nicer options. So for example, my Amalou handbag. So as you can see, this has a slight inspiration of Hermes. It's the same sort of shape, which is reminiscent of an Hermes bag. So you kind of see the hint of luxury in the design. However, the rest of the design elements are unique. There's no fake logos or anything like that. It is its own bag. And this is just so much nicer and classier than buying an actually fake branded bag. If you watched my video from 2 weeks ago, I'll put the link up here. I did a huge order from a brand called Charles & Keith, which I found out later is really big in Singapore and sort of Asia, but I don't think it's very well known here. And they honestly have the most beautiful bags. They're gorgeous quality. They kind of range in price, but I feel like they're around the £50 mark, which I think is the perfect amount to spend on a bag, because any cheaper than that, then I think the quality is going to be low and it's not going to last very long. And obviously any more than that, then it's expensive. Whereas if you had one of those beautiful unbranded bags from Charles & Keith, no one would ever know where it was from or how much it cost, and paired with the right outfit, it could look like a designer bag with absolutely no branding on it whatsoever, and it's just such a better look all round. Fashion faux pas number 5, I slightly have gone back on my word about it not being a matter of taste. However, I do think this is really general, and I do think for the most part a lot of people would agree with me, and that is dressing too casually, just going over casual. Now, I pretty much have two sides to my style personality. One is ridiculously extra and over the top and kind of a big fat show off, and the other is someone that thinks actually the beauty is in the simplicity. So I'm not against casual outfits. I've said time and time again that I think a really gorgeous, nicely fitted pair of jeans and a really nicely fitted white tee or blouse can be a perfectly stylish and elegant outfit. However, I do think that that outfit completely loses any style points if you pair it with like gym shoes or trainers, or like a kind of boring old backpack. Obviously, if I have a plane journey or a car journey, or I'm just indoors, then I would not be against, you know, wearing something super casual. But I think if you are trying to have some style and stand out with your outfits, then going over casual is just a no-no. And I must say that I'm highly against the whole like athleisure trend, like wearing gym clothes as clothes. I'm just not about that. I love gym clothes. When I go to the gym, I fully relish in like a matching little outfit with my cute white Nike trainers and my gym bag, and I feel so cute. But would I actually go out like shopping or to lunch wearing something like that? Absolutely no way. Save your gym stuff for the gym, and if you are going for one of those super casual effortless outfits like a jeans and t-shirt look, pair it with some heeled sandals or something. They don't have to be high, but it's just going to add a little bit more style to the look, and maybe a cute little crossbody or something like that to give the whole thing a little bit more flair. My next faux pas is kind of an obvious one, and one that I have discussed before, but I could not leave it out, and that is unkempt looking clothing. It's happened to me so many times in the past where I've got my outfit on, I'm all ready to go, and maybe I've just like sat down to do my shoes up or something like that, and I don't realise, but I've just sat down where my cat's been sat all day and I've got cat hair all over my bum. And it's not just pet hair, it's human hair as well. Does anyone else have the most like ridiculous hair in the world? My hair is just everywhere. My boyfriend's always moaning. He's like, Freddie, I found another blonde hair in like my boot. Oh God, I hope it's mine. But it just gets everywhere and it sticks to clothes, especially dark clothes, and not just hair, but also just kind of like dust and fibers that just pick up, that are in the air, and they do stick to clothes, and it just looks really bad. So I've told you guys this tip many times, but if you go to Primark or H&M, you can actually buy a lint roller, which is basically a better version of your mum wrapping sellotape round her hand 100 times and whacking you on the back, which is what used to happen to me because my school blazer was black and it was always covered in cat hair. So just make sure before you leave the house you do a little 360 in the mirror, and then just give yourself a once over with a lint roller if you need to. And you can also get little miniature lint rollers that are handbag friendly to take out with you if you need a little touch up during the day. Also, we have to talk about creases. Creases are my worst enemy. I hate them. I just wish they would disappear. It's so annoying, but I also hate ironing. It's just such a pain. So you guys know I always always use my personal hand steamer. It's just a total lifesaver. I use the Philips one, which is really, really good. But before I use that, I just used a really, really cheap one from Amazon. It's travel friendly and it's just so easy to pop some water in it, flick the switch, and then just give your clothes a once over before you go out, and then they're perfect and non-creased. Also, if you have anything that's made of wool or any kind of knit material, as you guys know, I've told you this before, the fabric can bobble after time, especially if it's cheap, but it also happens to expensive knitwear too, which is even more annoying for some reason. So all you have to do is order yourself a bobble off from Amazon. Everything will be linked down below, and this is a little like electric kind of shaver for your clothes. So you do have to be careful because you don't want to tear a hole in it or anything, but you can just run it over the sleeve of your jumper if it's a little bit bobbly, or any kind of knitwear that you have. And it's not perfect, but it's kind of the best you're going to do, and it does help take down the bobbles a little bit and keep it looking a little bit more fresh and new. And finally, we have to talk about makeup on clothes, especially in the collar, fake tan as well. This happens to me all the time and it's really, really annoying, but it's just something you have to be careful with. So I'd always suggest try and put on your outfit before you do your makeup. It depends on the outfit. Obviously, if it's a dress, it's going to crease and you're going to sit down, and that's not ideal. The alternative, and I mentioned this in one of my old hack videos, and I still do it now. You basically just have to get like an old pajama t-shirt or something you're not worried about getting dirty, and put it over your face before you put your clothes on. And as you put your dress or top over your head, the t-shirt is separating your makeup from the top, and then you can just whip it out and then you have no makeup marks on you at all. If you do happen to get a little bit on there somehow, then honestly, micellar water is God's gift to this earth. So if you follow all of these steps, you will be bobble free, crease free, makeup free, and pet hair free. Faux pas number 7 is ill-fitting clothes. Now, this is something that I think nearly every single person will kind of suffer from in day-to-day life, because we all have such different bodies. And although there's size 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 upwards, that still leaves so many people out, because there are so many different types of body shapes, so many types of clothes that look good on a certain body shape and not necessarily on another. So sometimes even clothes that are in your proper size may not actually fit you properly, and this is where a tailor comes in. Now, I know that sounds so extra and kind of like a luxury and something maybe only like really posh people do, but actually you probably would be surprised if you find somewhere local to you how affordable it actually is and what a huge difference it can make. I have found in general that more expensive clothing fits better than cheap clothing, and it's not always, but it's often. And all it would take is maybe spending £10 or even less maybe at the tailor to get it taken in at the waist or just tailored more to your body, and then it can totally transform how it looks and make it look more like an expensive piece of clothing. I think in general, of course, there are always exceptions, but you never want your clothes to look too tight or too baggy. Like these shorts, for example, if they were tight on the legs, then I just think they would look a bit tacky and not very flattering. But also if they were too loose and baggy, they would just look a bit kind of too relaxed and just like they didn't really fit. So I think it's important to try everything on, even if you think you're always a size 8, I'm always a size 12, just try the things on, because you really do never know from shop to shop or even style to style, things can fit so differently. I think a lot of people who are not confident in their body kind of hide behind loose and baggy clothing, and this is just such a shame and such a mistake, because something as simple as kind of like putting a waist belt on a loose dress can just give you so much shape and is so much more flattering. So I think definitely dressing for your body is important, and sadly I'm not an expert on this. I do get questions like, Freddie, please can you help a girl out? Like I'm not sure what to wear, and it's so difficult because I don't have that expertise. I only know really what works for me, but it's just trial and error. That's the beauty of ordering online. You don't have to go to a shop and pick stuff up and go to the changing room, which is cramped and maybe hot and just uncomfortable. You can just do it all in the comfort of your own home and see what actually looks good on you. But as a shamelessly sweeping statement, with exceptions of course, I think baggy looks a little bit too slobby and too tight can look a bit tacky and try hard. So try and find some nice middle ground. Faux pas number 8, and I feel like this is a bold thing to say, but black tights. Black tights need to go. I think nothing ruins an outfit more than black tights. They're just not a good look. So whenever I can, unless I'm absolutely desperate and I have to wear them, which I don't think I've done by the way for 3 years. I don't think I've worn black tights since like 2015, 16 maybe. I will always try and find an alternative, which believe me is not easy, especially when you live in a cold country like England. But a few ideas. My biggest saviour was when over the knee boots kind of came back into fashion, and I feel like even when over the knee boots are no longer in fashion, I will still be wearing them because I still think that they will be better than black tights. So over the knee boots will cover up most of your leg, and I've said it 100 times before, but I personally have lots of natural insulation around the thighs, so I just about managed to bear it. But if you couldn't, then of course you could just wear some flesh colour tights. I don't really think that you should wear flesh colour tights in winter and have all of your legs out, because I do also believe in dressing for the seasons. However much I absolutely adore spring summer clothing a million times always over autumn winter clothing, I would never wear my spring summer wardrobe, you know, something like this in winter, because it just doesn't look right, and I think neither does having bare legs in winter, even if you're wearing flesh coloured tights and you're warm. So apart from over the knee boots, you could also go for more midi length dresses. This is something that I don't do as much, but Josie, for example, would tell you a knitted midi skirt is so warm and cozy, and it's also keeping your legs warm. And you could even wear those flesh colour tights underneath that to keep you extra warm, but you just wouldn't really see them. But then as another solution, we have patterned tights. Now patterned tights I do not find offensive at all. I think they're really cool. They're very in fashion right now, bringing back the Gossip Girl days. By the way, guys, if you like Gossip Girl, you are going to want to watch next week's video. That's all I'm gonna say. But patterned tights I think look really cool. They give a totally different look to black tights. Black tights, you look like you're just wearing them because it's cold. Patterned tights look like part of the outfit, so they're completely different. You can get ones with hearts on, stars, you can get lace. I'm not really into fishnets. Just gonna say that. Don't really like fishnet tights because I think they're a bit like red light district. I know you guys were all relying on me to bring white tights back into fashion. I'm just saying it's hard, okay, because they're not the most flattering. The only good thing about black tights is they're very slimming on the legs, whereas white tights kind of have the opposite effect. But I am working on it. I think maybe white pattern tights, but we need brands to start making them, and then I'm gonna get on it, I promise. But in general, I think there's nothing that spoils what could be a really chic, stylish outfit than black tights. So let's just get rid of them and move on. So faux pas number 9 is the idea that branding and trends are always a good look. I think we get very swept up with trends. It's happened to me before. I've just totally fallen for a trend. Then like a year later, I'm like, so in blunt terms, what I mean by this is just because the Kardashians, who I love unconditionally by the way, are wearing cycling shorts and posting photos on their Instagram, which are heavily edited by the way, I can assure you, it does not mean that it's a good look. So just don't fall for it, because I think most people do not look good in cycling shorts as fashion. It's just the cold hard truth, okay? Micro bags, those teeny little bags that are the size of like a Noxo cube, I'm just confused with. So my point is, just because something is trendy right now does not mean it's a good look, and sometimes I think classic is better, and that way you actually get the most out of your wardrobe for your money as well, because trends come and go, especially something like a micro bag or a jumper that has like a big brand name plastered over the front of it. I feel like in a year's time or 2 years time, you're going to be like, why did I buy that? Why did I waste that money? And you're just going to want to get rid of it. Whereas something really classic, you know, like a pink trench coat, it's going to last you forever, and it's just so much better to put your money into things like this rather than trends. And the final faux pas of the video is accessory overload. I feel like sometimes people go a little bit too over the top on their accessories. Bracelets, watches, loads of rings, stacking rings, necklaces, you know, sunglasses. Now we have headbands and earrings. I personally do like to accessorize, but as you know, I just go for really subtle accessories, and I do think I could go a bit more with my accessories, but you have to be careful and you have to decide which is the focus piece. For example, now we have these headbands that are beautiful, they're embellished, they have pearls on, they have all these great details. Do you then also want to be wearing statement earrings? Probably not. And if you're going for a big watch like this, then maybe keep the rest of it simple with just a nice slim bangle rather than a big statement bracelet. And I would also say, and this is very much my own taste and my own opinion, but that mixing metals isn't always the best look. I do it sometimes. Sometimes I don't mind silver and rose gold, but I would never put gold and rose gold together, or even really silver and gold. So I feel like silver and rose gold is a little bit of an exception, but in general I do like to keep all my metals the same, because otherwise I think it looks a little mismatched, a little like thrown on and not well thought out and a bit clashy, whereas if everything matches it just looks so much more polished, put together and elegant. So guys, that's the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it and you found it helpful. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below if you think I missed any out. What are your biggest fashion faux pas? I would love to hear. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!